If you want to learn how to fix water spots or any kind of spots inside one of these Sony 55 to 210 millimeter zoom lenses, stick around. Okay, what we have here, this is a Sony 55 to 210 millimeter zoom E-mount lens. It is also got built-in stabilization. It's an OSS lens, but all over the back side of this lens right here is little dots. It's like a mold or something that's grown inside there, and so we're gonna take and fix that. Okay, we're going to be using Q-tips and 70% isopropyl alcohol. So basically it took about 2 Q-tips and I can't see any residue on that. So we're going to call that good, at least for now. You know, if I manage to get the camera, put it on there and take a look, see what we see. So what I'm going to do is I should be able to catch, should be able to catch, so you have 1, 2, 3 spots on this lens in this ring that, or the inner ring, that I should be able to catch and lift this out. And when I lift this out, it should expose the screws. All right, so hopefully you can see how you've got a cutout here, here, or let me see. Let me get my trusty dull scalpel. You have a cutout here, here, and here. And underneath that cutout, you have a little tiny clip. There's inside of each one of those 3. Bottom of the lens. So when I put this back in there, I'm going to orient it to where this information here is towards what I will call the top of the lens, which is the opposite of the little data tag right here with the serial number and all that. Okay, so inside here you can see that there are 3 screws, or maybe you can't, but there are 3 screws. There's one there, there's one there, and there's one there. That should be able to bring this outer ring here off the top. So let's get into that. And I wouldn't, see, be careful when you're working on this, because I've extended it up to be able to get some things, but you don't want to bear down on it, because I don't know what the mechanisms up in here are, but I would think that the mechanisms are very sensitive, and so you wouldn't want to put pressure on this lens going down. So your best bet would probably be to keep it all the way in the retracted or the unzoomed position. There we go. So this ring, again, oops, this is plastic as best I can tell, or it could be, no, this is plastic. So be very careful with it. So it's keyed. You have here, here, and here. They just knew that this goober was going to work on this thing. So I even marked it wrong. It will only go back on one way. So this ring will only go back on there one specific way. So they knew I was coming. So here we've got this, and from what I can see, these screws here, so I've got to take these out. There's 3 of these, and so when I take these 3 out, then that is going to release this ring here, which has got the lens on it, and it's spring loaded. Okay, so yeah, it's like I thought. And I doubt I can zoom in well enough to see, but you can see a little bit of glue here. And I had to scrape it loose from the outer edge of the screw here. There's still some there. I need to try to break loose. And what I may do, it's an old trick I used to use when I would do trigger jobs on guns. And I would, after I would take the epoxy or whatever it is that the manufacturer would put in there to seal the sear and creep settings on a trigger, I'd dig that out, I'd make the adjustments, and once I got it set, then I would put a drop of fingernail polish on it to seal it back off again and let it dry. So I switched to this screwdriver right here because it's a little heavier tip, and that's what I need for these larger screws. So carefully loosen the screw up, which I assume yeah, you can see some of that stuff popping as I'm, let's see here. That is not a screw. That is just simply a pin. Okay, so we got the first one out. Support the lens and turn that. So we already know, now it did back out on me when I did that, but that's not a screw. And so this is how I know that no one's been in this lens. Okay, see, I proved. I'm a goober. I told you I was going to tell you something, and I have no idea what it was. Oh yeah, I know what it was. So you probably don't even have to bother with sealing that back in there, because when you put this ring back on there, it is tightly against these pins, holding these pins in place. I believe what the glue is, period, is when you take it apart to keep these from just falling out. More likely than anything else, that's what that is. I think I got it going on like Donkey Kong. All right, so, oops, I think I let a spring pop. Say a prayer, I'm going in. Okay, some of you may think this is kind of weird, but Jesus wants this back together. Gotta be. There's gotta be. Because, okay, I found that spring, and then I immediately dropped that spring and found it too. So there's 6 springs on here, one on each side of the stud that anchors the lens ring into place. So again, like I said, Jesus wants it together. But if I had to guess, it's not so much that he is wanting this lens together, but that he wants to display that he cares about his children, even in their childish things they care about. Has to be a certain way. Looking inside this lens, I mean, I cannot see a speck of dust, but I can see a lot in this little edge where that ring was. So I'm just going to move it around, that maybe hopefully you can see them specks. Now there's no guarantee that this is going to clean off. I mean, it could be something, it could have been some kind of cleaning chemical that got in there and it's actually etched into the coating that was on the lens. I mean, but then again, I mean, I'm not going to know unless I get in here and do it or try. Okay, I'm finally back. Was gone a long time because, of course, my ancient cell phone died and I had to charge it. So, all right, so I got most of it off, and so it was just very, very much stained on the bottom here. And I do want to do some more cleaning, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it back together because I'm tired, and so y'all can see me put it back together. So I'm not gonna put any sealer or fingernail polish on the studs, but because I'm gonna take it back apart again, and I'm gonna do some more cleaning on it. Now, what I believe, what I've understood or figured out is this is a split lens. It's got to be, because what I had to do to get it to finally clean up was just set alcohol rub on the back and just let it sit there for a while. And it finally soaked in enough, and I wiped and wiped and wiped and wiped and blew on it and everything, and could not get the haze to disappear. And so it was like it was inside the glass. And even if I grab it right now and hold it close to the edges of the lens, like any kind of a lens will do, it'll frost, but it'll frost somehow on the inside, and you can't wipe it off. You have to set it there until it finally evaporates. So I would recommend that you plan, get everything in place so that you can set this lens quickly and be done. And the reason why I say that is because I wouldn't say to put this in there and there be any moisture on it, because then you're going to have moisture trapped inside your lens. And there is a minute right in the center with some still a bit of a discoloration and such, which when I'm more rested, less tarded, well, I don't know, I'll probably never be less tarded. I will be having this apart again because I want to finish cleaning that lens better. But if I can finally get a camera in that I can put this on and see what it looks like, then I'll know how much I need to put invested with it, because I don't even know if it works. It was listed as used, so it should work. And I don't know if you know this, but on eBay, if you list it as for parts are not working, then it is what it is. But if you list it as used, then it's expected to be working. So always keep that in mind if you list something on eBay or if you look at it. So anyway, that is that. I would like to ask you to like and subscribe. That would help me and this channel tremendously to grow and to pay some of the bills someday way in the future. But anyway, I do appreciate you spending your precious time with me here. And I do definitely hope that you would come back again and that we could spend some more time together. Thank you, and God bless.